I'm here with Nate and Tessa from Destroy Nate Allen. It's nice to be with you guys.
Hi!
So, how long have you been zombies?
Oh, about a week or so. Last week was the prom. I think that was when we got bit.
Well, I showered a few times and washed off some blood and it just kept coming back. It's been awkward.
Yeah. Well, you just finished playing a show here in St. Louis on your fall tour. What kind of places have you been playing on this tour?
We've played a lot of houses and we've played pretty much like a few bars and a few just random art, DIY art spaces. And mostly it's been houses on this tour.
What kind of fun experiences have you had?
We got to go to one of our friends that we met in Elko, Nevada, works at a museum, and he invited us into the museum a few hours before it opened, and we took pictures in the exhibits.
Dead things. We got to play with dead things.
She got to play with dead kitties.
Lions and polar bears. And monkeys.
So, are you enjoying the Midwest? Is it different from your home in Oregon?
Tonight was a lot of fun. It was a night kind of like it ends up being at home, which was kind of fun. And it's really nice to see like familiar faces, which makes it feel like you're not so far from home.
Follow the recipe, the first time that you do it. After you do that, you can add things to it. Follow the recipe, the first time that you do it. After you practice, there's nothing to it.
Well, let's talk about the new album. Came out in August or so?
Yeah, we put the pre-release up in August.
Until My Ankle's Better. Is something wrong with your ankle?
Yes, I'm wearing ankle braces because I rolled my ankle in New Orleans on our tour last year and it never healed fully. So I wear them now protective.
And then I bit the other one.
Anything interesting about the recording process? You've done a lot of albums, so anything new about this one?
I recorded the majority of the guitar tracks with an $8 guitar that I bought at a yard sale. I was working for the census and walked past this yard sale and I was like, oh, they've got a little guitar. If it's $8, I'll buy it. And I went back and it was $8. And so I bought it and I wrote about half the songs on the record on the guitar and I was like, I want to use this because it sounds totally weird and crappy. And it made me really happy. So, and then
Little guitar, he played it a lot.
Tyler from Insomniac Folklore recorded about half the record, and I recorded the rest in I think 5 or 6 locations around Portland. It's 15 songs, which for some reason most of our records end up being about 10 songs, but then we put one out every year. So we decided I wanted to write something longer, and so it's pretty neat. It's got full band on a few tracks, and it's kind of my first real solo record in quite a few years. We've been doing the Duke band as kind of a 2-piece duo since 2008, and because Tessa was ruptured her appendix in May, and spent some time in the hospital and then was recovering for a few months. She didn't really have the time to write a record, and I kept writing songs. So it's mostly me working through a lot of my just kind of the process of my wife getting really sick, and then
Pain.
Yeah, and just kind of coming to terms with, I guess, some of the elements of how I grew up and what I believe and about all sorts of different things. And so for me, it's a pretty honest, vulnerable record that, in quite a few ways, excites me and scares me.
Have you had other particular songs that you'd like to play, songs that people connect with?
There's a song called I Want to Let You Out of the Box that's fun. It kind of works through growing up, going to Christian school and kind of the effects of that. And that is something that I guess probably needed to get off my chest. And
Your identity.
yeah, there's a song called Shaken to My Feet that's named after a Jerry Lee Lewis song that is really about Christ, but more of that, like me being afraid of people knowing that and not really sure how to process that. So I guess that's one of my biggest fears, was that people would judge me as a Christian. So that's kind of the undercurrent on the record, is also working through what that means, and trying to like compare and contrast being totally confident in something and also afraid of it at the same time.
What's it like being married and on the road together?
She gets a little
I get hungry sometimes! I get hungry! On the road, in the car! Don't eat at McDonald's.
It's really fun being on the
V8!
road.
V8 is good in the car.
It's really fun being on the road and being married, because we get to share all the adventures together, including being attacked by zombies.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because you have an obvious chemistry on stage together, in basement together, and you know, a lot of sometimes musicians will get married and either stop playing the music but you brought her along with you.
Yeah, I think there was a few specific instances that made that happen more directly. Like I spent a week in Michigan in 2007 playing with this guy Jason, and his wife Lisa really wanted to play with him, and he kept telling her no and not letting her play with him, and she kept stealing instruments. And over the course of the week, he kind of came to this realization that, oh man, I play in a crappy band. Like, why can't, I'm just having fun. Why can't my wife have fun with me? And so he let her in the band, and I think that
Have fun!
I think that was a big, it's okay.
Have fun! Have fun!
I think that was a big catalyst for why when we started being a couple, like Tessa really wanted to go on tour. I was like, just join the band. And so we say the first year on tour she learned how to play tambourine, and the second year she learned how to sing.
Third year I will learn washboard.
We were best friends for 3 years before we got married, so we'd already laid a pretty solid foundation of communicating about things that we needed to talk about. And it definitely happens even more when we're married, that we just have to continually working on things and working through stuff. And I think that makes it fun when you can work through things and have adventures with your best friend.
Rolls, I've learned. We have more rolls. Not dinner rolls.
What are you talking about?
Wife rolls. Husband rolls. I take care of some things. He takes care of other things. Work together. Different than being single.
Smart zombie.
Nice fight.
So, I know you had some punk influences growing up.
Punk rock, punk rock, punk rock, punk rock, punk rock, punk rock!
Both of you, perhaps. And I thought it was interesting. You have a line on your new album that says, I'm married and I pay the rent, that's the life I'm committed to. And while a lot of punk music has themes of freedom and rebellion, kind of a thing, I was just kind of curious on your thoughts and perspective on the whole balance of kind of punk rock freedom and with responsibility and being grown up and committed.
Well, I think priorities have to be in line. I think punk rock is something we both enjoy a lot, and is definitely our musical first love. Playing with punk bands is our favorite bands to play with and tour with and such. But like our priorities have to be, our relationship with each other has to be more important than the band, and which means, you know, when we're home, Tessa does taxes, and I'm in school for business, and so that's like building not necessarily another life, but being responsible with things along the way.
And we're old. Less to prove.
I think for us, making sure we pay our bills and do things responsibly, we're debt free, fortunately, and so
No debt! No debt!
allows us to tour a lot, and we have been able to put out all our records and pay for them up front, even if that means that we have $14 turning when we start a tour. But we get what we feel like we need to do.
I've noticed you're very active online and on social networking. You commented on a blog post of mine 2 Cornerstones ago. I'm just writing about Cornerstone, and I've seen you commenting on reviews online and different things. What's kind of your strategy? What kind of role do you see you have in marketing your band and your identity?
I have Google alerts on my phone, so when somebody pops up and writes something about us, I can respond and follow up and say, okay, like, that's true, that's not true. And now I can know what people are thinking. And I find that I think online allows you to communicate and get to know people a lot better than you would in other ways. And so I think it's fun.
Well, that about wraps up my questions and things.
I learned how to screen print. I make a lot of merch. Screen printing t-shirts. Screen printing CDs. Making cassette tapes. Play, record, stop, turn it over. Play, record, stop, turn it over. Oh, it's done. New one.
Hot pads.
Pot holders.
We have all sorts of other little projects in the works. We're on tour right now until Christmas, so that's our... Once we finish this, I get to go home and do 2 more terms of community college, and then I get my associate's degree. And we'll probably be on tour again. So that's pretty much our adventure.
Death and taxes.
Thank you for the interview. My wife is going to eat me later, and I hope that I don't break another chair.
Well, that's Destroy Nate Allen on this Halloween at Chuck's house. They've still got a few more dates left on their fall tour, kind of East Coast stuff. Check it out. Otherwise, maybe we'll catch you at Cornerstone 2011.
Yeah.
Wow. Turns out you're perfect.